Let's get right into it. A little review from yesterday. Went 3-2 on the picks that I gave out yesterday over on Patreon. Alexander went under 37.5 points and assists. He only had 29. He was on a great streak. He just, all streaks come to an end, and that ended yesterday. We had Spencer Strider strikeouts over 7.5. He went over, and we had Durant again over 1.5 3-pointers made. I know he made 2. I seen him make 2, so I'm not sure exactly how many he made, but we went over on that. 3-2, which we could have got all 3 right. Let's go ahead and get started today, and let's see if we can get all the plays right today. First player I'm looking at is Mikal Bridges, Orlando versus Brooklyn. I'm looking at his points prop of 26.5, projection of 33.23, minus 127 to go over. Let's look a little bit closer at Bridges. As you can see in his last 10, he's went over 6 out of the last 10, but in his last 2, he hasn't went over this mark of 26.5. Orlando's defense is pretty middle of the road. Against Orlando this year, in 2 games, he had 44 in one game and 8 in the other, 44 in the most recent game on 3/26. So I think definitely he's a candidate for over. Prizepicks has pushed this up to 26.5. So if you can find this at 24.5, I think it's definitely a play out there on the books to go over. Prizepicks 26.5. Not sure about that one. Pretty much I'll probably stay away from that one on Prizepicks. The next player I'm looking at is coming from the Dallas versus Chicago game. Dallas still has a chance to make the playoffs if they win their next 2 games, and OKC loses Sunday night to the Grizzlies. Dallas is in. If Dallas loses tonight, they're done. It looks like Kyrie is out tonight from what I can see, but we have to follow that closer. We're looking at Luka. We're looking at Luka's 29.5 points. Let's take a closer look at Luka. As you can see, he's went over this prop 40% of the time in his last 10 games. He hasn't been scoring as much as he did, in the middle and earlier part of the season. Over the last 30, he's clipped his 57% of the time. The defense he's playing is decent tonight. If Kyrie doesn't play, I definitely like him to go over 29.5. If Kyrie do play, we do have to take that into consideration. He's going to come out scoring tonight. Chicago's going to come play also. So, but if we're going to look at Luka and look and see who actually plays. Dallas is favored by 11 in home. They need this win. That's why I know Luka's going to be super aggressive. They have to win out, and they need a little help from OKC to lose one to make the playoffs. So we're definitely looking at Luka tonight. Third play I'm looking at is coming from another game that has playoff implications, and it's coming from the LA Lakers versus the Phoenix game. We're looking at LeBron James. His prop of 28.5. On Prizepicks, he's only 26.5. So that's something to definitely look at on Prizepicks. Not sure if it's minutes, not sure how they're going to play it out, not sure if they get behind, if coach is going to sit them. Really not sure at all. He's minus 120 to go under 28.5, minus 106 to go over. But the 26.5 on Prizepicks is very, very interesting. Let's look at LeBron to go a little bit closer. He's went over this mark 3 out of his last 10 games. Let's push it down to 26. What we're seeing on Prizepicks. 26.5. 26.5. Still only 3 out of his last 10. Playing a good defense. Not sure who's going to play for Phoenix tonight, or if the starter's going to play or not. They did play last night. But it's an important game for the Lakers. So I expect LeBron to be aggressive in home. And if this game is close, we expect him to play and we expect him to put up numbers. I think the over on the Prizepick prop of 26.5 is definitely in play. 28.5 over on, through the books. Not totally sure, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Lakers favored by 9.5. And the last play we're going to look at for today is actually coming from baseball. We're looking at Rich Hill, Pittsburgh pitchers, strikeouts. His prop is 3.5 on the books. He's minus 160 to go over 3.5. On Prizepicks, his props is 4. I still like his Prizepick prop of 4. Over here, they're playing the White Sox. The White Sox so far this season, of course, it's early and things can change. They are one of the worst when it comes to the WRC plus stat, which is green is very good for the pitcher. If it was red, of course, it'd be good for the team. This takes in a combination of the team's true offensive value. Takes in a lot of things and puts them into, a category and says, hey, this team is good offensively or bad offensively. Even if we just take the K percentage up here, they're middle of the road so far this season. As you can see, Rich Hill has went over 4 strikeouts in his last 10, 71% of the time. Let's look at last season. Let's see what he did last season. Last season, he went over 4 strikeouts. Let's push this up to 4. 55% of the time. Against Chicago White Sox in this last game, looks like he didn't have a good outing. I think he only had 1 strikeout. I think they got to him pretty good in that game. But it's a new season. When we look at his last 10, as I say, over his last 10, he's been doing very well. Minus 160 to go over 130 to go over 3.5. Batters thinks he's gonna, go over that. And I have a strong indication I think he'll go over that too. Will he get over 4? We'll see. And the line of Prizepicks is 4. So those are a few plays that I like. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. All those things would be greatly appreciated. To get my premium picks, you can get those over on Patreon. Link is down in the description and it's running across the screen. Until the next video, peace.